treat the water and to reuse it in our own operation. We have probably the widest widest infrastructure of water treatment plants, more than 430 water treatment plants and growing. It's probably the largest infrastructure in Mexico, and we're continuously testing new technologies to bring it to a better quality level so we can reuse it in other parts of the store.
Sir,
yes.
I just want to ask a question concerning the operation model. Looking at the market here in Mexico, it seems pretty interesting. How do you compare that to the Chinese market? It seems like we have 1 billion people there, probably more superstores, Walmart superstores in China. Does Walmart have the same policy in China, or do you have like a role model in a country-specific country where you guys just look at that and say, okay, well, we need to be at that level and run the operation the same way? My question is mostly related to cost and cut and expense and be profitable and sharing to everybody that the Walmart is going green. How do you compare Mexico to the Chinese market? And not from like the market point of view, but from the talking about sustainable way to operate.
It's a good question. We have a network where we share experience and best practices globally, and we have markets that are taking the lead in certain topics. So specifically, China is taking the lead in zero waste. They have a project we call Zero Heroes, so there is one responsible by country, and we share their experiences. And what we have seen is that there is no single market that leads in every aspect, but as that the UK is a leader in one thing, Canada is a leader in another, we're leaders right now in renewable energy, we'll be leading in water because it was a more relevant issue for us than the rest. Central America is having leadership in training farmers to have more sustainable practices. So we do take advantage of like the network.
It's obvious because the human potential in China and the way they operate store in China and the tools that you have brought in China don't have them here in Mexico. We're talking about finding someone who's here. The waste nationwide probably in Mexico is probably happening in China.
Exactly.
It's more powerful. So the operation model is completely different, but it's definitely China is one of our probably role models for the company right now and operating superstores.
In terms of waste, they are.
Okay.
Not necessarily renewable energy they know of, or energy efficiency, so everyone has like a level of expertise. And it depends on the types of businesses that you can have in each country. The UK is much more developed in having waste because they have companies that can provide. It's really a smaller island where you can have one company provide service nationwide, which is not the case in Mexico or Brazil. Yes?
It's a very quick question. Two questions. In the context of the size of Walmart and sophistication of what you are developing here, in all humanities, it's probably as big and as advanced a project of sustainability as exists in Mexico, in the private sector at least. And the other question is, I would get the impression with Walmart that if, for example, in the case of the new banking services that's within Walmart stores now, that if a good idea is there to present it and the board or whoever makes the decision thinks it can go places, then it's given the green lights and it gets advanced. One can see that you have, for example, water treatment services for Walmart itself. Would there be a possibility of expanding that as a commercial business for other clients?
I'm evaluating that for energy, but it's still. I have to see the appetite for new business. And this morning I met with the CEO of Walmart International. I had the privilege of having breakfast with a couple of executives in him, and there's where we bounce off to see if there's appetite for something new, or we have sufficiently new businesses on the plate we have to take care of. But there are definitely entrepreneurial opportunities here, yes. In renewable energy in particular, that's where I see one.
In my follow with that question, Walmart was primarily seen as a holding company, and relative to the target, Walmart, especially in the US, its expansion at some point relative to Target and the competition, in some areas the policy was to kind of slow down because of the expansion of different businesses and the bottom line. Because if you're expanding, getting into new markets, into new businesses, your bottom line really gets diluted, and those investments, the return on the investment, is only felt after some time. But right now, your operations or your budget kind of hurts because of the expansion. At what point do you cap it, and how many such operations, like you say, you're currently looking at how viable electricity is to do that with electricity? How many such projects do you have, and how viable, like what is expected of you to be able to start one such project? Return on investment, how does that work?
If I understood correctly, we have a portfolio of new businesses all over the company, and we take a look at it from a strategic point of view and from a strictly financial point of view. So we try to see which one makes a more strategic fit. For example, multiple channels or internet is having a priority right now, so that will be a new business stream. And so it's not only return on investment, but also the strategic fit in the moment for each one of the new business opportunities.